Come, check this out. We're gonna hang this wall here. Alright, I'm gonna give you the best tip on how I do something like this. It's a long, big wall with butt joints that spans 8 meters long by 2.5 meters high. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So come on, let's measure it real quick. I don't got my pencil right here. I got a pencil right here. Look, we've been hanging all day, so there's stuff everywhere. It's part of the job. I got a butt joint up there. I know it's the worst butt joint you've ever seen, but look, stuff like that happens every now and then. I just gotta pre-fill that before I tape it. Not a big deal. I'm gonna start that way, coming this way, so we don't match that butt joint with the top piece. I'm gonna measure it right there. Now, I can go in the middle of the stud, but I don't like doing that because I find that every time I go in the middle of the stud, my butt joints, they bow a little bit. So I don't go in the middle of the stud. I don't care how tempting it is, I just never do it. What I do is I go in between two studs like this right here. So I got 6 meters, my plaster board is 6 meters, so that's good. I don't even need to cut that part. Write it down as usual, 6 meters. Make sure the insulation is in before I do anything else. There's no more measurements I need to do on this plaster board. All I gotta do from here is just glue and hang. Where's the glue top? Come on, man. Stud adhesive. I'm gonna say it again, stud adhesive. And what I like to do here, I like to put a little bit of glue behind the pucker that they've put on the wall and then another glue on top of it. So what I do is I put my daub at about 250, 250, 250, 250, roughly, right? So I'm gonna do that on repeat, get to the end. Anyway, so my butt joint's right there. I'm gonna leave it there. Listen to me. You cannot put the plaster onto the ground. You gotta lift the plaster up a little bit. When the building starts to move, your plaster is gonna move and it's gonna crack and you're not gonna have fun. So put 10 mil blocks on the ground before you put the plaster on. I'm going about 150. Check that, I don't need it. Put it down to my next stud. Cool. Now all my wires are pushed in because the electrician has marked it on the ground. He knows where the wire is. So I don't need to measure and cut that hole through. Check it out. Put it down, come to me, go and tie it to me. Cool, sit it down. Push to me. I'm happy there. Plaster is on. I did it all by myself, of course. Now we're gonna screw it. It's okay. Just hit the gun with 25mm screws. That's what we're doing. Come have a look at this, right? In the internals, because it's 1350, now I like to go into the middle of the plaster and in the middle of the middle and the middle of the middle. Go there, go there. Right, before I go all the way down, I get rid of my block. And then you just get all that. Once we do that, I'll get the middle. I'll put about 3. I wanna go 4 because of the insulation. It might push the plaster back, so I'll pull 4, right? Right there, right in the middle. Look, how do I know where it is? Anyways, that's done. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna cut it. We're gonna wear a mask while we cut this board because the dust that guy creates, we don't wanna inhale that and die. Nice and easy. You're probably wondering, where the hell am I gonna screw? Check this out. Now, you can use timber for this, or you can use metal buttons, okay? This is what I use for my ceiling, and I just got offcuts laying around, and this is good for what I'm about to do. So what I usually do is I go about 250, and I'm just gonna cut 3 of them. Now check this out, look. This is why I go in between 2 studs, because I can do this. I'm gonna slightly bend the middle of this, okay? Just slightly, not too much. Right about that. No, it's not too much. I can go more, but I don't want too much gap. Yeah? I'm gonna do the same thing on the other 2. You can't do that with the timber. That's why I use these guys. And what I do from there is I'm gonna change my screws to metal screws, right? It's a long process, trust me. I know you guys would rather just slap it onto the timber and move on and go on about your business, but I can't do that because I'm the one that's gonna tape it out, and I need to make sure that it's easy for me to tape and it's nice and it looks better when the project is done, okay? Because I've bent these guys right here, it's gonna create a little curve between my butt joints like you would with a normal joint, okay? It's gonna give me a little gap. Anyway, so I wanna see this guy right there. I'm gonna give a little bit of a gap because I can screw the top and I can screw the bottom, and I'm gonna go right with that bend is right there. Watch your fingers when you do this. We'll do 2. 2 is enough. I'm happy there. And what I'm gonna do there is I'm gonna cut a little back block. We're gonna get that glue that we love, slap it on and slide. Look, check that in there. That's gonna give it extra strength. Slap it on, and all we need to do is put the next piece on and we'll come back to that. I'm good there. Gotta get the top. That's done right there. I'm gonna chuck one in the middle so that plastic gets pushed back to the glue. And when the glue dries, after a couple of days, I'm gonna take that screw out. Should be right there. Make sure screws are in. I'm gonna be very honest right now. With something like this, I put blue board on there because I got a top there. But the builder, he said don't worry about it. Just put normal board there because it's just a kitchen. It's gonna be cupboards and everything on there. You're not gonna see that. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just going by his word. But I would recommend anywhere that is a top, put a blue board, water resistant plaster board there, just for extra precaution. Usually what you do is you get the center of the pipe and write it down. You always measure from where you've hung. But because my plaster board doesn't go all the way through and it's a problem, I gotta get creative with it. Promise marks right there where the tops are. So I'm gonna use that to guide me, hoping that that's in the center. I'm not sure, but I have to do it this way. I shouldn't have cut that with the machine. I should have gone my height first and then cut it, but I didn't do that. And here we are, okay? Because this is the last piece, yeah? I wanna make sure it's tight as much as possible, but I also want it to fit. So what I do is I take off 2 millimeters. Write down your measurement and then go cut it. So if you get any offcut that's gonna fit, use it, but don't have a bunch of offcuts trying to make one full piece. That's ridiculous. And I just cut that right there. All right, make sure the T-square is nice and flat. Pull pressure on the bottle. Cut it, come up there, stop there, come down and finish. Mark my line. Sure. It's the end of the day. Usually I'm using my hole saw, but I'm not gonna do that today. I'm gonna cut my hole right here. And I get right in there. Snap it, cut it. A quick tip, yeah? Because this is my last piece, and I want it to fit nice and smooth, I wanna trim it back so I get rid of all this funky plaster that's just chilling there. Okay. Wow. So I'm gonna take a screw. That does want me to go up a little bit more, but I reckon that'll be all right. Looks a little bit tight on here. I'm gonna give it extra loving so it does fit right in. I'm gonna screw the bottom. Right, finish that off. I'm gonna go get my only friend that I love from the bottom of my toolbox. So what you wanna do is put pressure along the window. Push the tip against the window and slide. When you get to the bottom of here, you wanna start trying to make it turn. Quick demonstration, milestone. Finish that off, that one there. I'm gonna change my screws around and get my needle points now to finish that butt joint so that it's nice and tight and strong. And that's it. You can put another one on if you want. Right in the middle. It's actually pretty good. Okay, can you see that little gap? By the time I first coat, second coat, it will be nice and gone and it will be nice and flat. So I'm very happy there. So that's why I do it the way that I do. And if you have a look now, but the best thing about this is the fact that I've targeted my butt joints, right? I got my ceiling butt joint, but I don't have a butt joint along that wall. And it's nice and straight going that way. But I have a butt joint here, but no butt joint on the top. So it's nicely targeted. I got the same thing going on over here. I got a butt joint over here, right? On this end, but I don't have a butt joint on this sheet, on this plasterboard here. Don't worry about that gap. I'm gonna pre-fill it, but there's no a butt joint lining up with another butt joint, and this butt joint, there's no butt joint here. So I've staggered all my butt joints, which makes it stronger. I've avoided to put too many joints. Okay, use full piece in any ways that I could. 6 meter full board plaster. I chucked it right on, and that's how I do something like this. Sorry, man, I've been sneezing, hay fever, everything else is coming along, insulation, dust. So that's how I would hang a wall like this, and that's every step I will go through. I hope that helps. Make sure you follow, comment, let me know what you think, and listen, bro. Adios, G.